couple of them from what we've heard, but for the most part, you can go in and out of Pattaya and the dark side and the surrounding area without too much hassle today. They're going to be moving the checkpoints around. Exactly where is not 100% decided yet. We will probably get, actually, we've got guys at City Hall right now. We'll probably hear more about that in the next 2 or 3 hours about where they're going to move it to. It's likely to see it moving on the other side of Sukhumvit versus on the dark side where it was yesterday. And as many expats know, caused a lot of frustration, backing up the normal traffic, going to Sadahip and between Pattaya, and it was just a mess. A popular question about the checkpoints. So what do you need to go in and out? As a non-Thai resident, you're going to need your passport. For the most part, they want your original. That form you see, you can pre-fill it out, but you'll likely not do it correctly and still need to fill it out at a checkpoint. Really what they want to know is they want to know, do you live in Pattaya? You need something to prove that. Your housing certificate, your Thai driver's license, even a bill from your home. All of those work to show that you live here locally. The main reasoning behind the checkpoint is twofold. Number one, they don't want tourists and visitors, and believe it or not, there's still tourists in Thailand, about 500,000 trapped. And they don't want they don't want domestic tourists either. So they don't want them running back and forth between the checkpoints and coming into the area and properly, possibly bringing the coronavirus here. The second thing is, so last Friday, before they went ahead and they started the checkpoints, and when they closed the hotels, the Eastern Hotel Association, in partnership with 2 other hotel associations and all the hotels in Pattaya, did a count. I'm going to say it's an informal count because there's no way they got everybody in some of the small guest houses, etc. But there's roughly still 2,800 foreigners or tourists in Pattaya staying at the local hotels. They're allowed to stay until there's no more guests, then the hotels can close. Some hotels kicked everybody out. That was hotel management decision. What they want to do with these checkpoints is they want to identify people that recently came into Pattaya within the past 2 weeks or so. A high-risk group is what they're calling them. And then they're probably going to go around and see if those people are sick, temperature check. It's unlikely they're going to get an actual COVID test, but they really just want to go ahead and kind of sequester those people who are most risk. A question we've been getting is, are they going to test every expat or go house to house like they are in Phuket? There's no plan for that at this time. Bottom line is, you can cross the checkpoints if you have an essential reason, like to go to the hospital, to go to a doctor's appointment, to go to immigration. We've been asked, is going to macro an essential reason? No, officially it's not. Will they let you go? They might. But if you don't absolutely have to go, the message has been the same for the past couple weeks. Please stay home, at least till all of this is over. The faster people stay home and aren't running around, hopefully the faster this is over. Second point, curfew. So as everybody knows, the curfew is 10 to 4. It is 10 p.m. till 4 a.m. It is absolutely a myth that there is a 24-hour curfew right now, or there's a lockdown, or you can't move around during the day. You can do so, you just can't at night. They are being very, very strict on this curfew unless it's an essential reason, like having a plane ticket and having that documentation. Which, by the way, speaking of the checkpoints in and out, you are able to go out. They're not really checking that. They said they were, but they're not, at least at this time. It's coming in, that's the issue. So anyways, last night at curfew, some of you might have saw, they did a raid on a underground casino owned by a Chinese man on 2nd Road, in which a dozen people got arrested. There was a Russian woman there, 7 Chinese, and some Thais as well. And they're probably going to get the same a couple Thais a few days ago did, at least 3 months in jail with a serious fine. They are not playing around with this curfew. It's a very serious situation. As I said with the checkpoints, they want this to get resolved as soon as possible. Just stay home. Point number 3 of 5 that I have for you guys. We've been getting asked a lot, who do I call, who do I talk to if I have a question about COVID-19 or if I think I might have COVID-19? Well, I have that answer for you. I'm going to give you guys a phone number. It's also on our website and on the Pattaya News. But the first step, unless it's an emergency, if it's an emergency, go to the hospital. But if it's not a medical emergency, please don't go to the hospital. The first thing they want you to do is call this phone number, area code 66968478 I'll repeat that. Area code 66968478 That is the National Disease Control or Office of Disease Control English speaking hotline for COVID-19. We've posted that a couple times. It is not a phone number for visa questions. Please do not call them asking about your visas or a visa situation. But they are able to assist you with COVID questions. And if you believe you have it, the next processes that need to be taken to ensure your safety and the safety of others. Point number 4 or 5 for you guys. We just wanted to give some recognition from the Pattaya News and to let the local expats be aware of the great community work that people are doing in this situation. It's obviously a horrific situation for many, with tens of thousands of locals laid off. Estimated 80 to 90% of the businesses in the city closed right now. But there's many people doing some very good work and giving away free food throughout the city. The Devonshire restaurant has created a page called Help Pattaya on Facebook, which we've also posted on our social media, which is kind of giving a list of all the places that are available in Pattaya that are giving away food for Thais. Now, as expats, most of us probably have income or are not in a situation that we need. However, many of these organizations do need your assistance and help if you're able to give it. A quick list of some of those places, such as the Devonshire, Zappa Bar, King Seafood on Walking Street, the Channy Restaurant, Jonarat Restaurant, which we wrote an article on, Nadia's Kitchen. There's so many, I could go on for a long period of time. But if you have the time, and we've been highlighting a lot of them, it's been getting really good positive feedback, and you have the money, they need rice, they need eggs, they need assistance to give back to this community that hopefully has given a lot to us over the years. Next to last point I said 5, but I've got a tiny mini point for you. The visa situation, I'm sure this will be covered later in the call. All I wanted to say on this was what they've actually done at immigration is they've extended everybody's visa that expired after March 26th until the 30th. What that means, there's a lot of myths and rumors out there. So I just want to go ahead and put this right. Let's say you were due for your annual retirement visa on the 14th of April. You can still go and get that done on the 14th of April, but you now have until the 30th of April to do so. It does not mean you get an additional month or an additional 90 days to do it. Your 90-day check-in, you also have till the April 30th. It does not add an extra day to that. There's a big confusion. If anyone on this call or listening is on a tourist visa, all it means is that if your tourist visa expired on April 20th, you now have until April 30th to go ahead and get that done. If this situation continues, they will likely expand it again. Hopefully that clarified it. Last but not least, and we've been asked a lot about this, the water situation in Pattaya. It's very dire, especially in parts of the dark side and just south of Pattaya. Pattaya City itself seems to be okay. Both reservoirs are at extremely low levels, or the main reservoirs, Vapachon and Chak Noi. Chak Noi is actually at about 5% of capacity right now. The city is doing the best it can, but with the drought situation that we've currently experienced, although we are expecting some rain this week, which will hopefully help, it's going to continue the way it has right now for a period of time, unfortunately, and see a lack of water in the areas. We strongly recommend to go ahead and stock up on water if you haven't done so already. We've already heard, and with the checkpoints moving around, issues with water trucks traveling to and from areas. We'd strongly suggest that expats go ahead and stock up on water. All right, that's it for this week. Next week, I'll talk more about the Pattaya News and myself. I just want to thank you guys for having me on. Any questions?
No, Anybody have any questions? I think you answered my main question, which was, here's my video. See me? You answered the main question is can you or can't you go shopping? That's a big question because living kind of on the dark side, you know, back behind the Dolphinarium,
Yep.
to get to Big C or Tesco Lotus to reasonable shopping. There is something on Kalnoy, the tops at chilled, but they're probably not going to let you, or they might let you.
They're probably going to let you if you're polite. There's not a million people there, and you just provide proof that you're a resident. It's not a guarantee, but
Resident of where I live, because I live where my address is Nong Palai, Banglamung.
as long as you're in Banglamun, that's a local resident to them.
They'll let me go into Pattaya. Really?
They should. Again, I'm not guaranteeing here, but they should.
Gotcha. I'll let my wife try it.
Yep, they consider anybody in Banglamun a local resident.
Just have to fill out that piece of paper. Unfortunately, my driver's license was issued in Bangkok, so if I turn it over, it has a Bangkok address.
They would think you're outside, yes.
Yeah, I have my lease though. Okay, I appreciate that one. So everybody
guys.
try and stay home, and at least while they're getting all this set up, is probably the best advice we can have. Thank you, Adam. We look forward to hearing every week if you can be available, sharing a little bit of what's going on.
One last thing I'll put, if anybody has any questions for me or questions about anything I covered, send me a email at Pattaya News Editor, one word, @gmail.com, and I'll go ahead and I'll answer those questions for you.
Awesome. Thank you very much, Adam. I'll go ahead and
mute you.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Okay, on with the show. We have our main speaker, Patrick Lewinger, who is the managing director of Pattaya Prestige Properties. Going to talk about what's happening in the real estate market with COVID-19. And his company is a leading real estate agency in Pattaya, providing advice, guidance, information, and service for over the last 11 years. And Patrick personally has extensive knowledge and experience. He's posted informative analysis and YouTube video on what's the impact of the Eastern Economic Corridor, and that's available on YouTube. You need to get a hold of him. His number's in our newsletter. His number's on their website. With that, let's unmute Patrick. We can see him, but we can't hear him. Hold on one second. I will unmute you. Let's find you, Patrick. There you go. You there, Patrick?
Hi, Dan. Yes, Dan, can you hear me?
Perfect. Go ahead. Over to you.
Okay, perfect. Thank you very much. So as Adam just said, most businesses are closed. Pattaya is under lockdown. And by the way, today we have an online meeting. So that really shows how violent and radical this Corona crisis is changing our lives today. And as long as we are cautious enough not to have caught this disease. I want to thank Pattaya Expat Club for giving me the opportunity to share some thoughts with you today about what could possibly be the effect of COVID-19 on Pattaya real estate. It will be, of course, just the humble reflection of a real estate agent, and not the analysis of a corporate consultant. So I will first tell you about what was the market situation before this crisis, then about the situation and the work conditions now during this crisis, and what we can expect the market to be looking like after. So what about the market before? When I came to Pattaya Expat Club beginning of 2018, I told you that the market was recovering. And indeed, it was true at that time. 2018 was rather a good year in terms of prices and in terms of demand because of many factors. But slowly the situation started deteriorating in 2019. 2019 was a difficult year for real estate in Thailand for many reasons. First, I think the Thai baht issue was the main reason of the difficulties, as it went 10% stronger against all major currencies. US dollar, euro, not speaking about British pound. And Thai baht was even the strongest currency in Asia, and I have to say, to the profit of a very few. That was the first point. The second point is because of the new clientele we have, I mean, the raising target and customers that are coming for real estate in Thailand who are Chinese. And these Chinese were deeply impacted by US-China trade war. That make, in fact, this clientele less interested in real estate market. The second point is because of this war, the Chinese government made the money transfer very much more difficult for Chinese to make. Another reason for the difficulties in 2019 is definitely the loan policy. The government made tighter measures for Thai nationals to get loan. As a consequence of this difficult 2019 year, there was too many products, and there still is too many products on the market. We heard about 100,000 units, empty units to be sold in Bangkok, as much as 30,000 units in Pattaya, and we're speaking about 450,000 units in Thailand, which would represent 41 billion US dollar. Knowing that Thai GDP is 500 billion, 41 billion is 8%. So it's a lot. Another consequence is also the prices. The prices rise, which slow down, and the prices at best stay put, except for land. Land prices continued to raise a little bit, and also houses in Bangkok prices went up. In Pattaya in particular, 2019 has been also difficult because of the fact that this is a city where a lot of people are retiring. And the visa policy that have been put have made retiring more difficult in Thailand. The problem of also the compelled insurance made it very more difficult for retirees to stay in Thailand, and this combined with the cost of living made the market less attractive. We must also speak about the tourism that was not as good as before, and the high season up to January was not as strong as it used to be, and because of currency mainly, and also because of the competition of neighboring countries such as Cambodia or Vietnam. So 2019 was not a great year, although beginning of 2020 was showing some very positive and encouraging signs. There was a better currency exchange. Thai baht went weaker, and the US-China war was we were apparently there was some path to solutions. So it was making things easier. Another positive sign that I did not speak about 2019 is that there was only one of the only good news about 2019 is that foreign investment in industries was still good. And for Pattaya, all the big investments that are made for EEC are really very positive for the real estate in the city. There is also the oil prices that went better, and we have a lot of working expats in oil industries here in Pattaya. So that was also helping the market to recover a little bit at the beginning of the year. And as a matter of fact, in January and even beginning of February, we could feel that we were getting more serious inquiries coming, and especially for high-end properties, which was good for us. But then, 23rd of January, it was the shutdown of Wuhan. 25th of January, China stopped all Chinese tour groups flights. And then we all know what happened. We all witnessed the progression of the virus in China and around the world. All the deaths, the shutdowns, the stay-at-home orders, the stop of international flights, and the crash of all the stock markets in the world. And then we enter into an unknown and unprecedented era. As a consequence, for a real estate agency like mine, many deals have been canceled, of course, and at best are now on hold because clients just cannot come, such as Chinese clients, who are an important part of our clientele. And we did also have a lot of clients that lost money in stock market, and then they just could not carry on the plans they had before. We also have a lot of clients that decided to wait and see, and of course are estimating that this is not an investment time and that they should keep as much cash as they can. In March, we get less inquiries, of course, than last year. It's about 30% down. But still, what can be surprising is that we are still getting inquiries. And the inquiries we got first were a lot from what I could tell being refugees. We got a lot of Bangkokians that were looking and are still looking, but now with the shutdown will be difficult, but we're looking to rent pool houses for 3 months, 6 months, because we just prefer staying in Pattaya in a pool house rather than staying in their 2-bedroom condo, small condo in Bangkok. So that was a good source of business. Of course, we had also some stranded tourists looking to rent by month, but this is not our business because we are not into daily rental, and our agency does not rent out less than 3 months. We also had inquiries by clients that are looking for very good deals, clients that think that there is a kind of smell of end of the world, and that there is no more market price for purchasing or even for renting properties. And we got very crazy inquiries, like we had some houses to rent at 40,000, and then we just received inquiries saying, I would be interested to visit if it's possible to rent for 18,000. Okay, so that were also some inquiries that came. But we were surprised that we still were busy with some Chinese clients that are still here, or whose representatives are still here, and who are already preparing for the next step. And this, I will speak about it later. So another source of inquiries are the clients that are already also looking to come for 3-4 month holidays I'm not sure it's holidays anymore, but 3-4 month stays in Pattaya from August, when people think the situation will get back to normal. We are also very busy right now with our existing tenants. Some of our existing tenants that are trying to negotiate some better lease, or even with some that were asking for compensation. Well, all kind of requirements that are coming because of this very special situation. But fortunately for us, it's not too many requirements like this. Of course, during this crisis, we have very special work conditions. We closed our office on the 25th of March because I wanted our staff to stay safe. We also, I don't know if you heard, but there was one case in land office on the 24th of March. One person that was confirmed as being infected that came in land office on the 24th. And for example, one of our agents was transferring a condo on that day. So that agent had to stay in quarantine. So we took it very, very seriously to ensure the safety of our staff. That's why we closed the office quite soon. Now we work remotely, and we still organize some viewings, but we work with a lot of all the safety measures that we need to take. Of course, with masks. Of course, with gel, washing hands of the clients before entering the condos or the houses. Also wearing gloves for most of the time. And we also organize for move in and for move out because life is continuing. But I have to say that we had some buildings that forbid the viewings because there was some co-owner or chairman of the committee that decided that there were no more viewings. There is some decision that are made by juristic or by some committees to close the buildings to ensure the maximum safety to the residents. Some owners that asked us to take off their properties during that period because they just don't want to show their property during this period. And of course, we do respect that. But we're still quite busy. Because we are working with a lot of long-term residents, and we are also working with international companies for their relocation, and they have, as you can guess, a lot of issues about housing their staff right now. So what can we possibly expect the market to be after the corona crisis? First, I personally think that after a short while, real estate investment will bounce back. Of course, there will be some opportunity investment to go in stock market because it has depressed so much. So of course, there will be some good opportunities to grab. But very soon, I think people will realize that real estate investment is much safer compared to stock market, to what happened to the stock market, to the incredible volatility that happened. Dow Jones lost more than 30%, and all stock markets in the world just crashed. So even gold and even Bitcoin were highly affected. But stone and land prices did not fall to that proportion. And I truly believe that people will realize that real estate investment is safe. I think also that Thailand and Pattaya will bounce back. Not mainly, but first because a lot of our clientele right now, Asian clientele, will be looking for a second home, because they will want to prevent, they will want to look for a second home in case a crisis like this happens again. And I think that Pattaya will bounce back, especially because it's a big city, but not a megalopolis, where pandemic spreads quickly, as it showed, because of the population density. It's also a city, of course, 1 hour and a half from Bangkok and from international airport, and very soon only 45 minutes with high-speed train. And in Pattaya, we don't have the crazy real estate prices as in Bangkok. We do have a lot of infrastructure investments for EEC, which would profit Pattaya. And as we all could witness, there is a lot of investment in infrastructure in Pattaya itself right now, with the road, with the drainage, and with the cables. So all this is improving the quality, will be improving the quality of life and the attractiveness of Pattaya. There is also fantastic international schools, such as Regents, Rugby School, St. Andrews, and we witness even some Bangkok families, Thai Bangkok families coming to Pattaya because they wanted their children to stay in this school. And then I think Pattaya will bounce back because tourism in Pattaya will bounce back. And we will have a lot of tourists that will want just to let off the steam. And there will be, for sure, a lot of money that will come to Pattaya, and it will profit the whole city and the whole community. What can we expect the market to be after this crisis? I think that the trend we witnessed right before will be reinforced. In terms of clientele, of course, more and more Chinese, more and more Asian, and more people Chinese from Hong Kong, from Singapore, from Taiwan, and of course, mainland China. But also more Thai investors and more Bangkok buyers looking for a second home. What kind of product would they be looking for? I think the buyers are younger than the sellers in this city. And they are definitely looking for modern and contemporary homes. It will still be a buyer's market for small one-bedroom or studios. But we can feel a high demand for houses, for 3 to 4 bedroom houses, and for 2-bedroom plus condos at the right price. of course, a seller of the right product may not make big profit, but should not make a loss when compared to the price that was bought in the past. And I think that high-end properties and land can still make profit. In terms of price, as I was saying, I think that the price will remain as it is right now, because the first buyers will be cash buyers. And I don't expect loan policy from the banks to be easier to the home seekers. And also, we have to expect the pure investors first to go in the stock market. So that's why the prices will probably remain the same at the beginning, at least. When can we expect a recovery? And this is the big question that everybody is asking himself. We can have a bet that it would rather be probably at the beginning of the second semester, because we got some signs about it. Schools, for example, would reopen beginning of July. The government extended the 5,000 welfare allowance to the workers for 6 months. And from the experience from what happened in China, we cannot expect the situation to get much better much quicker than 2 or 3 months. So to be realistic, I think that things will start to get back to normal beginning of July. So as a conclusion, I would say that I'm very, very optimistic for the future of Pattaya. I'm sure that Pattaya will reborn and will rebrand in the same time. And we, as a real estate agency, need to offer what the new clients are looking for. And we need to help the sellers to adapt to the demand. Pattaya Prestige Properties can advise you with honesty and sincerity how to make the best real estate move in this condition. My agency was founded 10 years ago, and we have built our reputation throughout the years and created very good connections with owners and developers in Pattaya. We are a medium-sized agency. We are 8 experienced staff with an agency, with an office based in Jutale 7 in Jomtien. All our staff have an average experience of about 7 years. And I'm very proud to say that we have the best team in town. We are a traditional real estate agency. We are handling sales and rental. We have a wonderful website, PattayaPrestigeProperties.com. And we are working with all major marketing, real estate marketing portals such as ThailandProperty.com, Property.com, Hipflat.com. We are on-field realtors. So that means that we build our expertise on the field and with the connection that we have with the sellers and our network. And we are all working with a long-term commitment, and we know that the best advertising is our client satisfaction. So I will be very happy, we will be very happy to help you to get the best deals and to estimate, but also to estimate your property or to sell, to help you sell or rent out your property. And I'm definitely looking forward to get your any question or and to give as much help as my agency can give. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Patrick. Very informative. I'll open up for questions. How the best way to do it. What I'll do is I'll unmute everybody, or if you could put your hands up might be better. If you have a question, I'll ask a question. I'll just unmute everybody. Please keep things quiet. Okay, quick question. So what do you think is going to happen, or what is happening with prices on rentals? I mean, I heard you mention someone came in and gave you an 18,000 baht offer for a 40,000 baht property. But other than that, I mean, what are the folks renting out being a lot more flexible, or are they standing pat?
Well, it really depends on what kind of property we're speaking about. If it's
okay, let me ask a different. Let me answer that. Okay, 3-4 bedroom house in a Mubon, you know, community pool, place like that. Not the ultra high end place that has its own swimming pool, you know, and it rents for 100,000 baht plus, but a more normal place. In a normal Mubon, not the luxury high end. Lauren, you're.
No, there is still a very high demand in houses, and I think that always looking for houses. Of course, it must be at the right price. As you said, we cannot ask the same price, but if it's correctly priced, the market is still looking for 3-4 bedroom houses, definitely.
Excellent. Okay, since there was background noise from several of you, if you have a question, you can unmute yourself. I've got a question from Facebook. Hold on while we wait. Someone says, how do you deal with unrealistic selling prices from sellers?
This is a very tricky question because what does that mean, a realistic price?
Well, he said unrealistic. I'm probably saying he's thinking really super high prices for somewhat average properties.
Yeah, of course, we need our duty is to inform the sellers about what is the market price right now. Of course, we have discussion with them because sometimes the market price is not meeting their expectations. But now some clients have too much the impression that everything is highly discounted, because it's not true. It really depends on what kind of product, and you have to study the market and look at and visit properties, and then you will see that for certain categories of product, you just don't have enough offer. So the prices can stay and can remain quite stable for this kind of so a realistic price. This is very, how to say, this is
subjective.
This is not objective. Yeah, it's really case by case.
Gotcha. Anybody else have any questions? I don't see any coming from Facebook. Like I said, if you have a question, you can unmute yourself. Well, I'll make a statement. I talk about unrealistic prices. Years ago, when I first came to Thailand, we rented a house in Chuan Chun, up in Pattaya, kind of the border with Nonthaburi province and Pattaya County, not too far from the city. Not that far, I mean, past Mung Tong Impact. So bottom line is we moved in, house 2 doors down. They had an expensive price. It was vacant when we moved in. The house across the street was owned by the developer. You could buy the brand new house from the developer on a corner lot, put in the Western kitchen, the air conditioning, all that stuff, and it was still cheaper than the house 3 doors down. And when we moved out 5 years later, that house was still vacant and unsold. Blew my mind, totally. You talk about unrealistic prices. All right, Patrick, I don't see any more questions. We thank you very much for your time and your information. This is recorded, so it'll be available. We'll get it into our social media and to Pattaya people and on YouTube. With that, let me find my good friend Peter Anders. Where are you, Peter? Hold on. Lost him. Oh, not going to find my good friend Peter. Unless he renamed him. Ah, he renamed himself. Thank you. Peter, you there?
I am.
Hey, you renamed yourself.
Can you hear me?
Perfectly. All right, Patrick, thank you very much. I'm going to mute you, and you can unmute yourself if during open forum some question pops up for you. Everybody, thank you. Okay, Peter, for a brief open forum session, and then I'll have Richard talk for a minute on our 2 WhatsApp groups. Go ahead, Peter. Floor is yours.
Okay. One piece of information, I'm not sure it's being covered already. In Bangkok, they've done a ban on alcohol sales for 10 days starting today. I was in the supermarket here in Pattaya this morning, and they're still selling alcohol here in the usual times, 10 till 2, 5 till 6. But perhaps they will introduce a ban here as well. So if you need to stock up, it might be a good day to do it. Anybody heard anything about that?
Heard it out Bangkok. It's in effect from the 10th, which is today. But I haven't heard anything about Pattaya. I haven't asked my restaurant bar owner buddies who might be in the know. I haven't seen anything posted either. Where's Adam when we need him? I think he probably left. Anybody have any information? Raise your hand or unmute yourself.
No, no comments.
Quiet, nice and short. Well, at least Peter, we could see you on video and your Zoom works.
Okay. In terms of open forum, I'm just curious if anybody's got any thoughts about dealing with isolation. I think it must be particularly difficult for people living on their own. Anybody got any experience of that they want to share with us?
See if anybody raises their hand. Hold on. I can't personally answer that one since I have a 5-year-old and a wife living here. So, and we get out and about a little bit just to go to the store.
Yeah, I think I've seen some items on TV news from the UK, people getting very imaginative with how to keep their kids entertained. So, Dan, I don't know if you've been sort of trying any unusual games or.
I found he has some friends, so he can go there. So that's helpful. Because I actually have to get work done in the daytime. When he's home, it's fun. You know, he'll be good for 2 or 3 hours on the iPad, educational videos, singing, and all that. But then he wants to sit next to Daddy and build stuff and write numbers. You know, it's really hard on people like husband and wife both work. I'm just saying in general, not necessarily Pattaya. Husband and wife both work in corporate jobs. Kids were in school, or kids, if they're little, were in daycare. And now mommy and daddy both have to work from home as remote workers, and kids aren't in school or daycare, and makes for interesting setups.
Right. Yeah,
anyway.
I think another issue that's coming up in the UK is worries about domestic violence, because couples suddenly are having to spend a lot more time together. So I haven't had any problems with that myself, but I think there might be people who are suddenly finding it difficult to be 24/7 with their other half.
Yeah, I saw that. There was a joke floating around. There was a joke somebody sent me that said, remember this, Osama bin Laden was living in a cave in isolation with 3 wives for 5 years. He might have been the one that dialed in the Navy SEALs.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Anyway, is what it is. Okay, thanks, Peter. Thanks,
Okay.
everybody. I'm going to just unmute Richard for a second to have a brief chat about our condo group on WhatsApp and our group for general open forum, just so everybody's aware, because the more easy information flow, the better it is. Okay, Richard.
Hi, Dan. Hi, Peter.
Hi.
Good afternoon, everybody. I just wanted to come back about the alcohol thing, that there were a couple of articles I saw today that referred to the Bangkok thing from the 10th onwards, but it said that other provinces had already got their own bans started. And it was anticipated that in Chonburi it would keep to the same as we've had already, which is alcohol sales stop at 6 p.m. And they weren't thinking that it would then go to a complete ban. Yeah. Okay. So we started the 2 WhatsApp groups as another way that our members could stay in touch with each other. Stay in touch with the team, ask some other types of open forum, questions any time of the day, week, etc. So we've got the general one, and then we've also got one about condo tips. And some of I just wanted to mention just a few very quickly of the themes that, although these are very new, we've had some quite interesting topics, and you can, if you're already on it, you can scroll backwards and forwards and see what people have asked about. We've had items, for instance, on COVID, the COVID virus insurance plans for 450 baht. We've had about the land department postponing all condo AGMs till after the crisis. We've had the check post form in English, which is available from the condo management offices if you want to, exit or come into Pattaya. We've covered water shortages with the low amounts of water in the reservoirs, and we've had the big theme about the long packed queues at immigration. And then the Prime Minister agreeing to the extension of the visas and the 90-day reporting. One that I thought was interesting on the condo tips side was someone was complaining about Wi-Fi services that had been promised as part of the sales pitch in a new building. The Wi-Fi services were then cut. Which you shouldn't reduce services that you've promised owners, and we suggested ask your committee for free Wi-Fi in your lobby areas, because no doubt they will have Wi-Fi just nearby in their juristic office, for instance, right? So those are a few of the themes that we've covered just in the last few days, and if you haven't joined either of these open forums yet, you can just go to our weekly newsletter and you can click on the links, which will join you up, or you can go onto our website and click the links there. Okay, back to you, Dan.
Okay, thank you very much, Richard. Yeah, those groups are helpful. Some people I see pop in and leave. One thing, if you're not that adept, in WhatsApp, basically you can click on the group and you can mute it so you don't get a million notifications. You can mute it for a week, and then you start seeing some notifications, you can unmute it, no problem. So that way you don't eat up your phone battery any more than normal. All right, everybody, next week, as we announced, Adam Judd will be speaking. He's the Pattaya News editor, managing editor, owner, and he'll share how he got here, how he got it started, what he's been doing, and it promises to be quite an interesting talk. So this will be posted. Give me a couple of days and we'll get it worked. So everybody, thanks for participating. We had about 20 something on the Facebook Live and 22, 23, 24 in here. So in total, maybe 40, 50 people, plus what we'll get to see via the postings all around. So we're doing our mission, fulfilling our mission again of the club, which is expats helping expats to live safely and legally. And we'll keep doing it for as long as we can. So take care. See you, everybody.